The last time I saw my mother, I didn't say sorry. My mother never told me she forgave me, not because she didn't, but because I never gave her the chance. The last night I spent in her house, I told her she was wrong. About everything. About my choices, about my life, about the person I was becoming. I said things I told myself were true but knew, even then, were meant to hurt. Then I grabbed my keys off the kitchen counter. I walked past her without looking at her, and I left. She was standing in the doorway when I pulled out of the driveway. I know because I saw the porch light in my rearview mirror. I didn't stop. I told myself I'd call her in a few days when things cooled down. I was wrong about how much time we had left, and I've been wrong about that night ever since. I was 43 years old. My mother was 71. I had driven to her house for dinner, the house where I grew up. Same kitchen table, same chair she always sat in, same smell of whatever she'd been cooking since early afternoon. That night it was soup, something with chicken. It smelled like every version of home I'd ever known. I don't remember exactly how the argument started. She had an opinion. She always had an opinion. And for most of my adult life, I had learned to let those opinions pass through me. I'd nod. I'd say, "I know, Mom." I'd change the subject. But that night, something in me didn't want to do that anymore. I was tired. Not physically, the other kind. The kind that builds over years until one small moment turns into something bigger than it should be. I told her she had never trusted my judgment. She said she was only ever trying to protect me. I said I was 43 years old and didn't need protecting. She went quiet. That particular kind of quiet I knew from childhood meant she was either very hurt or very done. I picked up my keys. She had a little dish near the stove where I always put my keys when I came over. She had bought that dish years ago because I had a habit of leaving things places. A small, thoughtful thing. I hadn't thought about that dish in years until right now, trying to tell you this story. I walked to the front door. She didn't try to stop me. I think we were both assuming we had time. I opened the door. The night air hit me, cold for October. I walked down the 3 porch steps I'd walked down 1,000 times. I got into my car, and when I backed out of the driveway, I saw her in the rearview mirror. She was standing in the doorway. The porch light was on. She wasn't waving, just standing there, watching me go. Her arms were at her sides. She looked, and this is the word I come back to every time, she looked small. Not physically, but small in a way I hadn't let myself see before. I kept driving. The first 2 days, I told myself I was giving us both space. I didn't call her on Wednesday. I didn't call her on Thursday. On Friday, I picked up my phone twice. Her name on the screen, just those 3 letters. Mom. And both times I put it back down. I told myself the ball was in her court. What I didn't tell myself is that I wasn't waiting for the right moment. I was waiting to not have to do the hard thing. I was waiting for time to make it easier, which is not the same as making it better. You don't run out of time all at once. You run out of chances quietly. A week went by. Then 2. She didn't call either. 3 weeks after, I drove past the exit for her town on the highway. I thought about taking it. I didn't. 6 weeks after, I finally called her. She didn't answer. I left a voicemail. "Hey, it's me. Just checking in. Give me a call when you get a chance." I didn't say sorry. I told myself I'd say it when she called back, that it would be better in a real conversation, not left on a machine. That was true. It was also a way of deferring it. She called back. We talked for 15 minutes. Her neighbour's dog, the weather turning, a show she'd been watching. neither of us mentioned that night. When we hung up, I thought, okay, good, we're past it. We weren't past it. We had just agreed, without saying so, to go around it. And going around something is not the same as going through it. A year later, cleaning out a drawer, I found a birthday card she'd sent me. One of those cards with a long pre-printed message about how proud she was, how much she loved me. And then her handwriting at the bottom. That's all. Love, Mum. That's all. As if the big sentiment was maybe a little too much. As if she was stepping back, giving me room to take it or leave it. I sat on my kitchen floor and held that card for 10 minutes. And I thought, I never said I was sorry. Not really. Not in the way the moment deserved. We had smoothed it over. The wrinkle was still there, just less visible. And unnamed things don't go away. They just wait. I kept thinking about the porch light. She had left it on. Even as I drove away, the porch light was on. I don't know how long she stood there. I never asked. And that question, how long she stood there watching the empty driveway, is one I will never be able to answer. That sounds small. It isn't. 18 months after that night, I drove to her house. Not for dinner. I drove there to have the conversation. I parked in her driveway. I sat in the car for a few minutes before going in. She opened the door before I knocked. She had probably seen my car from the kitchen window. She looked at me, and something moved across her face I can't fully describe. Not surprise, more like she had been waiting, and here I finally was. We sat at the kitchen table. She made coffee. And then I said, Mum, I need to say something about that night. I had rehearsed it in my head 100 times. None of it felt enough. I was wrong about a lot of what I said. The way I said it and the way I left, and the 6 weeks I let go by without really calling. That was wrong. And I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, I know you are. Not, it's okay. Not, I forgive you. Just, I know you are. Which was more honest, more like her, more like what the moment deserved. We talked for 3 hours that afternoon. She told me she had stood on the porch for a while after I left. She didn't say how long. I didn't ask. That conversation was one of the most important of my life. Not because it fixed everything, because it was real. Because we finally went through the thing instead of around it. If you're watching this, I think you know what I'm talking about. The thing you haven't said, the call you haven't made, the drive you've been meaning to take. I know the moment never feels quite right. I know you've been telling yourself you'll do it when things settle down, when you figure out exactly what you want to say. But here's what I've learned. The apology I gave her 18 months later was real. It mattered. It was better than nothing. But it wasn't the same as the one I could have given her 6 weeks after. The one while it was still fresh. The one that would have said, I know I just hurt you, and I'm not going to let it sit. The apology I gave her was good. The apology I should have given her earlier would have been better. I can't go back and give her that one. Some things get heavier, not lighter, with time. So I'm not telling you to make a grand gesture. I'm not telling you to fix everything in one conversation. I'm telling you to make the call, send the text, drive over, sit at the kitchen table and say the one true thing you've been carrying. If you're waiting for the right moment, this is it. Because one day, it won't be. My mother and I had more years after that afternoon. Sunday dinners, Tuesday calls. Some things got easier. Some stayed complicated. That's how it goes with people who are close and have history. But the unnamed thing, the wrinkle we'd been smoothing over, we finally named it. We finally went through it. That matters. I know it matters because of how I feel when I think about her now. Not just sad, sad is part of it, but also complete. Like a conversation that actually ended rather than one that just stopped. That's what I wanted to give you today. Thank you for watching. If this found you at the right moment, go make the call. I'll see you next time.